Hello, sweet little friends. Welcome to our channel. Here, we share fun and magical stories just for you. If you like our stories, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Today, we have a super exciting story for you. Are you ready? Let's go.
In a lush and colorful forest, a little rabbit named Poppy lived happily. With her long ears and shiny eyes, she was always full of energy. She loved running through the meadows, climbing bushes, and playing with her friends. But Poppy had one strange dream: she wanted to fly. Every day, she watched the birds soaring in the sky and singing. Her eyes sparkled as she whispered, "Why can't I fly too? Am I any less than a sparrow? I can leap high, spin in the air, and I want to see the world from above." Her friends laughed and said, "Poppy, you're a rabbit, not a bird. We're meant to run fast with strong legs, not fly with wings." But Poppy didn't listen. She truly believed, if you want something with all your heart, anything is possible. At night, under the moonlight, she would gaze at the sky and whisper to herself, "One day, I'll fly." Even if no one else believes it. The next morning, Poppy jumped out of bed with excitement. "Today is the first step toward flying," she declared. She ran to visit Old Owl, the wisest bird in the forest. Owl sat on a high branch, staring at her with his big round eyes. "Hello, wise one. I want to fly. Can you help me?" The owl chuckled and said, "Flying is more than just having wings. You need balance, lightness, and an understanding of the wind." "I'll learn everything," Poppy replied eagerly. The owl drew a sketch on the ground with a stick. "You could try building wings from leaves and sticks, maybe even fallen feathers." Poppy's eyes lit up. She ran off to gather big leaves, thin branches, and some feathers she found near nests. "Look. I'll make wings out of these." "All right," said the owl. "Now listen carefully." With the leaves, twigs, and feathers, Poppy made a pair of wings and strapped them to her back. She stood in front of the lake's reflection and whispered, "I'm not just a rabbit anymore. I'm a flying bunny." The next day, all the animals gathered to watch. The squirrels perched on branches, hedgehogs hid in the grass, and birds circled above. Poppy climbed a tall hill, took a deep breath, and jumped. For a few magical seconds, she really felt like she was flying. Then, whump! Crash! Boom! Poppy landed in a bush. Leaves flew everywhere. The forest went silent. Then, Poppy's laughter echoed, "Wow! That was amazing." After her crash, some animals teased her. "See? Rabbits can't fly. Stop dreaming so big, Poppy." She felt sad and stayed inside her burrow. When her friends came to play, she simply said, "Not today." That night, Old Owl visited. "Remember," he said softly, "failure is part of the journey. No bird ever flew perfectly the first time." Poppy looked up and smiled. "I still want to fly, but this time, better and stronger." The next day, Poppy visited a clever little mouse named Tootie, who loved building odd little inventions. When Tootie heard Poppy's dream, he squeaked with joy, "A flying rabbit. I love it. Let's build something together." They started designing a tiny helicopter using palm leaves, nutshells, and plant strings. The idea was to use Poppy's running power to spin the rotor and lift her into the air. It was hard work, but they were a great team. For the first time, Poppy felt she wasn't alone. Two creative minds chasing one big dream. Tootie made small spinning blades from dry grass and light wood, while Poppy helped collect and shape the pieces. They used willow bark for the frame and bound everything with soft plant fibers. It wasn't perfect, but it looked like something that could almost fly. When Poppy ran, the blades spun in the wind, though it didn't quite lift off yet. Tootie examined it and said, "We need to make it lighter and adjust the blade angles." Poppy nodded. "Nothing can stop us now. Not if we work together." One night, a strong wind blew across the forest. All the animals rushed to take shelter. But Poppy had left her flying machine in the open field. She ran out to save it, just as the wind picked up. Tootie shouted, "Be careful, Poppy!" But before she could grab it, whoosh! The wind lifted her off the ground. Poppy was flying. Just for a moment, wind whistling, ears flapping. But then, spin. Tumble. Crash. She landed in a soft hay pile. Dizzy and covered in straw, she laughed. "I really flew. I actually flew." The next morning, the whole forest was buzzing. "Did you hear? Poppy flew." Even the squirrels who had laughed before now clapped in awe. Little bunnies gathered around her and asked, "How did you do it?" "We want to fly too." Poppy smiled humbly. "First, you run. Then, you dream. Then, you build. But most important, you believe." Old Owl called from above, "Poppy taught us that dreams can come true, with a big heart, an open mind, and strong paws." A forest celebration followed, with hazelnut cakes, honey juice, and plum leaf cookies. Poppy wasn't just a dreamer anymore, she was an inspiration. Poppy and Tootie started a workshop in the woods. Animals came with their ideas, a squirrel wanting tree slides, a turtle wishing to walk faster, a duck who wanted swimming lessons for chicks. Poppy learned that dreams weren't just for herself. She could help others dream too. She kept improving her flying machine. Eventually, she created a version that could lift her a few meters into the air and safely land again. Everyone now knew, Poppy, the bunny who dreamed of flying, truly made it real. One day, a tiny bunny named Lily came to Poppy. Her ears drooped as she whispered, "They say I'm too small to fly." Poppy knelt down and said, "You only need one thing, a heart that believes." They built a lighter flying machine for Lily. She practiced running, jumping, and gliding. Then one sunny morning, she ran, and lifted off. Lily's giggle floated through the air, "I'm flying. I'm really flying." Cheers rose from the forest. A new little dream had taken flight. Poppy thought, if Lily could glide with a light wind, maybe it's time to try, flying without wind. She and Tootie began designing a self-powered flying device, like a cross between a balloon and a glider. Their goal was for Poppy to fly, anytime, anywhere. They built the frame from hollow reeds, the body from tree bark, and the wings from giant water lily leaves. It was their toughest project yet, but Poppy was more determined than ever. At last, the big day came. The forest animals gathered once again. Even old Grandpa Tortoise rolled in with his wooden cart. Poppy climbed into her machine, spun the blades, and slowly lifted off. 1 meter, 2. Then, above the trees, into the sky. She flew over the forest, wind in her ears, looking down in wonder. When she landed, the crowd erupted in cheers. "You did it, Poppy," cried Tootie. Old Owl whispered, "She's no longer just a rabbit. She's a legend." Days later, news of Poppy's flight spread far and wide. Animals from distant forests came to see her, flying squirrels, northern ducks, even an old bat who wanted to share flight stories. Each evening, they gathered around the fire as Poppy told her journey, of failures, friendship, and the magic of dreaming. The old bat said, "You showed us that flight isn't just about wings, it's about courage." And Poppy smiled, no one should ever feel ashamed of their dreams. With so many eager animals, Tootie suggested they build a real school, Poppy's Flying School. They built wooden classrooms in the trees, training grounds on the hills, and launch pads from palm leaves. Poppy became the main teacher, and Tootie ran the workshop. Young bunnies, hedgehogs, even daring turtles came to learn. Every day, someone took a small step toward a big dream. Poppy wasn't just flying anymore, she was helping others soar. One peaceful night, Poppy sat by the lake, watching the moon. Tootie joined her and asked, "Now that you've flown, what's your next dream?" Poppy smiled. "Flying was never just for me. I want to help others dream." Real flight isn't about leaving the ground, it's about lifting hearts. That night, in the quiet forest, a gentle glow shone from Poppy's flying school, a place where dreams took flight, and little hearts learned to believe in big skies.
Alright, little friends, our story is over. Thank you for being with us. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Until the next story, take care and keep smiling. Goodbye.